to happen, I would expect Inspired to be involved in this game.
Yeah, it was pretty incredible. I mean, he played it very, very well. Always the one marking Castle and Call Me, finding them in pivotal moments and winning them a lot of team fights after some pretty big advantages were gained by DSG on the top side. But LYON was stalwart, had a great scaling comp, and it did kind of play towards their win conditions.
But to the Lounge's point, it was a bit of a surprise banger there. It's expected to be a one-sided series, could still end up as a 2-0, but DSG had a lot of lines they could have played within that game that would have led to victory. It's just LYON continued to outperform them team fight after team fight.
It is one of those things where you sometimes realize when you watch these games that the gap between the best and the bottom teams is not always as big as you might think initially. Yeah. You know, it's a lot of little things that LYON did better. There was wards that weren't swept out by DSG. Their vision control was kind of worse. And that actually caused a lot of teamfight losses. When you think about Cryer getting caught on the enemy red buff, you know, he's warded over the wall. When you think about sometimes Call Me getting spotted out on his flanks because of vision and the fact that they had no deep vision, so it wasn't safe for him to approach and avoid Inspired. I really do feel like in a game like that, you can pinpoint small vision advantages that changed it completely.
You can, or you can just point out individual clicks in team fights. If we would have sidestepped a little bit to the left, if I wouldn't have checked this push at this moment, and the whole game is different. But into this game, Dhokla's back to his old tricks. Scion, Rumble. First 2 games, lock it in.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. And it's been working pretty well for LYON, even though the early game 1v1, he did get absolutely slammed. So looking for a better early game performance from Dhokla, and I think you will probably be ending up with a more one-sided game, because Castle does feel like the big hope for DSG in a lot of their series.
He really does. Also, Call Me taking the Azir away from Saints. You could see the record below Azir right there at 1-7. That one win was Saints Azir last week. So Call Me going to have to perform pretty well to get the win with this pick.
Bard going to be grabbed up here relatively early. It's a lot of focus on these enchanters, because obviously we had both the Nami and the Lulu picked, and then we have Karma as well as Seraphine banned, and then Bard is taken. Those are the top 5 supports right now in pro play. After that, it becomes mostly engaged support. So I'm kind of curious to see, will Isles go like Lucian Melio? Is he going to try to force his way onto an enchanter, or is it going to be engaged? And the answer, of course, is going to be Nautilus, which makes a lot of sense, especially alongside that Rumble. It gives you the lockdown of the CC for the equalizer.
It definitely does. Could have gone Nico as well. So a few options, but you could see DSG really prioritizing denial picks, I would say, with the Azir and the Bard going up against LYON. I wasn't a big fan of LYON's Bard the last time he played, but I feel like he's been searching for it a little bit, as we'll see how aggressive this LYON team tries to go. Okay, this is a team comp that can create some chaos.
It is. And this is kind of a classic combination with that Yone as well as the Rumble. You add in some CC, and all of a sudden, there is incredible dive, and you can have that face seal coming out, the knock-up with the equalizer over the top, and then the Nautilus ult, and the dredge line, and all of these tools to hold someone in place. So it is a very scary comp to play against. And Saint, definitely a really strong player when he is on it. So Call Me going to have to be doing well, and it is going to be Castle with the counter pick of the Aurora to answer Dhokla. So not deciding to go for the kind of more defensive options of the Galio and the Ornn and those kind of answers. He's looking more to try to dominate in the 1v1. And I can understand that, because it feels like he has kind of had to for his team to have a chance.
And he's had some really insane Aurora games, so trying to keep the lane pressure on, as that was something that worked for DSG in game 1. Just because you didn't win the game doesn't mean you didn't do things well. So it looks like DSG just trying to build on the things that were good in game 1 by trying to pick some dominant lanes early.
And it was that game against Impact that he played the Aurora in, if I'm recalling correctly. He had, at least a solo kill or 2. They did not win that game, but he was monstrously ahead in that one. And we'll see if they can.
Ignar, right? He just kept solo killing them.
Yep, and we'll see if he can actually put together another game like that to give them a real good shot in this one. Of course, we do see DSG with double AP soul laners. They really are going to need some sort of AD jungler. They have banned away the Vi, trying to deny some of this potential dive, as well as Kai'Sa, which is a great pairing with dive that LYON is playing. And LYON, I'm expecting probably just another jungle ban here. They already banned out Jarvan. They already banned out Skarner. Vi and Pantheon have been taken away on the other side, and we had 2 AD junglers played in that first series. So you are pushing them down quite a bit as far as the tier list is concerned. Champions like Wukong really come to mind. That could be pretty high prio in this game. I think really for Inspired especially, it's something that he is comfortable with and does pair well with that Rumble.
He could also just open up his bag of tricks. I feel like whenever you have a mid laner who can do AD damage, your options as a jungler open up hugely. I feel like you can play most junglers with Yone. So if he really wanted to, he could throw Ivern. He could still go tankier with Sejuani. So this could be a game where Inspired finally gets to experiment a little bit.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, Sejuani can be really, really effective, you know, with the double melee soul laners. The Wukong will get taken away by Kryra, so we won't find out if Inspired would have wanted that. But of course, does have Sejuani as an option. I think it is a strong one, as you mention it. There are still a lot of different AD junglers up and available, and as you say, he doesn't necessarily have to go AD, but the reality is, when you look at the prio on junglers in the meta right now, it is like the top 20 are all AD. And then for mid lane, the only one in the top 20 that's not AP is Yone. And they have that. So, you know, you have a small chance that you can go outside the meta. But these days, it's kind of just like tier list down your AP's mid and your AD's jungle.
Just saying, Inspired, if you're trying to create chaos.
Let's get a fiddlesticks, you know? Mix it up a bit.
I was going to say Viego just for fun, but the Sejuani is the logical pick because of the double melee soul laners and just strong frontline and team fighting. Maybe they're low on damage, but Yone is going to bring the damage, and same with Rumble. So it's just a good team comp. I can't complain when they pick standard.
It is a really good team comp. People hate on Jhin, but I mean, it's very cohesive. Again. And we are getting the Vayne. This was the last time Jatt honestly had a super good game. They were able to 2v2 kill very early on in that Vayne game. It was a super pop-off game for him, and it was in a win. So cool to see him bringing this out once again. Vayne as well as that Bard to try to answer this dive. And if you can dodge all the CC that is coming out, then hey, the extended fight could look really good for DSG. The counter engage is pretty good with both the Aurora ult as well as Wukong ult with potential disengage from that Emperor's Divide. Maybe the Vayne then takes over. But of course, if you do get hit by CC, you're probably just instantly dead before you get to move.
And the Jhin can really punish him with range if they get a little bit ahead. That was the last series they won. It was game 3 of their Sentinel series when he played Vayne. That was kind of a win everything game. It's when my hope in DSG was the highest because they'd played super aggressive the whole series.
When I decided I was going to sign Jatt to my fantasy roster.
And it's been a rough go the last few weeks for him.
Yes, yeah. But this is the game.
It could be.
This is why I kept him.
It's actually crazy. I know not everybody plays fantasy, but this is worth the tangent. You start the year with the 100 budget for 5 players and a coach. So on average, you're thinking like 16, 17 for an average player. So Jatt is $8.
Yep.
It can only go up.
Last week, he got me negative 0.3 points, I think, or something like that. So we'll see. We'll see if they're going to be able to battle back here against LYON. At the very least, it is an exciting draft to see that Vayne coming out. Not a lot of players playing Vayne these days, and it feels like a lot of time when it is brought out, it's just brought out as a top lane counter pick.
Yeah.
So it is cool to see him busting this out, and did have, a good game, as you said, against Sentinels on it. I'm trying to actually look up what lane they were playing against, because I can't recall exactly what the 2v2 was, but the internet is lagging. So I will find that out in a bit.
Someone needs to attack the people that are DDoSing games of Legends. Our GOAT, Benji, is struggling with that currently.
All right, well, we want to talk a little bit about Inspired and Kryra. Obviously an important matchup here. Kryra did get the best of him in lock-in, but game 1 was Inspired just dominating, and these are the stats before game 1, so keep that in mind. Of course, things will have shifted a little bit, but this is all of this year. This is including lock-in and spring split thus far. Inspired obviously has just been so dominant. The only thing that he's not, really kind of topping the table at is KP. But that is really more of a nod to his style. He's such a heavy farming jungler. And sometimes you can't be blamed when your 2v2 is just getting kills without you.
Absolutely not. Also, the solo lanes were in Struggle Bus City last game, but they were still able to play the slow path towards victory. I'm always impressed when I watch Inspired Sejuani, though. I feel like he takes up more space than most other Sejuanis that I see play and can really chase a lot of people down for extra kills. See if he can do something similar in the game today.
And this may sound funny, but I think one of the things that Inspired does really, really well when he's on tanks is sometimes when you're playing against a Sejuani, the enemy tanks position so aggressively and they're just like, yeah, you're never going to engage on me. Inspired will hard engage on a tank. He calculates damage so well that, sometimes an enemy tank will just get flashed on and CC'd under 0 and burst down because they are positioning so aggressively, kind of flexing, thinking they can't actually be killed. And he is just really, really adept at understanding exactly how much damage he can do, exactly how much damage his teammates can do, and kind of making those calculations, which to me is such an important thing when you're playing a tank, because mechanically Sejuani is not difficult. It's not a tough champion to play. Big trade there in onto Lions as he is put incredibly low.
At least he picked up that one cupcake from Bard Heal. It's going to be a tough lane for them. The last time I was really shocked that they were able to win with the Vayne Alistar, but this time Bard Jhin, they completely lose bot prior. That means that Kryra is actually going to get pushed out of River. Should be able to just collect top grab, though. Will be slightly delayed on his clear.
Yep, just running straight up there, but Isles is
following. Just going to follow.
So
this can be brutal if they pull this off. Bard is going to be from base, able to match this, so there's a decent chance we see a fight here. Inspired Burn Smite.
Yeah.
But they can just walk him out of River.
The question is, can they win the 3v3? And we'll see how confident they are. Also could mean that the top laners do get involved. Castle has push, so I think that is going to be them backing off. And Berserker does finish his base here, gets a pickaxe. So Lion look like they are just going to call this off. They don't want to risk the game when push is going the way of DSG in the top side.
Looks like he's smart casting his portal or something there. Shorted it through the wall. Going to be a little bit slower down to the bottom lane.
That's a tricky one. We saw Kryra, not Kryra, sorry, Cryogen, I think, died to that.
He missed it like mid-fight, though.
Yep.
This was just walking slowly
back to lane. The skinny walls, they get you, you know?
Do. They sneak up on you.
Yeah, you have to have that angle right. But it definitely does look funny.
The thing is, he was in the right place.
Yep.
The reason that Lion had to call that playoff was in part because of the mid prior, but also it was just a check. Did your support deploy mid? Otherwise, you're going to get double crabbed. And he was in the right spot.
And Dhokla taking a nice little trade there onto Castle. Castle will actually be the first one heading back to base. So Dhokla keeping things very even up on the top side. And it is just that advantage for Berserker for now down on the bot side. The wave pushing towards the Jatt, so he will collect some of this and even things out a little bit. But really that one hook just meant a lot for this 2v2. That hook was, I don't know, about 80% of Lion's health off of the hook and Deadly Flourish.
Yep.
And that kind of meant that they were really pushed back.
And even though they're winning the lane early, I got to say, this is why Sejuani has played the Vayne. He's historically had a really good record on it. Most of this is from NACL, but he did have that one LCS game. You're not expected to have early shove with Vayne, so they're obviously willing to take a few early deficits in CS, but it's all about being able to hit the right power spikes and team fight well.
Yeah, exactly. And sometimes even when Vayne is down a little bit, his equalies are going to get dropped onto Castle. Castle may be forced to flash here. He's going to be flash followed by Dhokla, and Dhokla takes him out. It's a solo kill in the 1v1. Well played by the Lion top laner.
Oh, that's got to feel good for Big Dokes. He had to accept his fate the whole game one as Sion versus Jace. But here on Rumble, the champ that's going to have push into Castle's counter pick, hit 6 first and pulls off the kill. Really, it's just about layering a good equalizer. And once that equalizer, he knew he was dead.
I want to draw your eyes to the minion HP. That one minion didn't die. That would have been level 6.
Yep, that's why Castle was sticking around.
That's why Castle was sticking around. He thought that minion was going to die to his minions. I don't know how much health that minion had, but it was like, I don't know, 15 or something like that. It was a minion auto attack away practically from dying.
Stuff like that is why I don't want to play top lane. Like, that's your whole game.
Yep.
Like, the minion was 5 health and the other guy knew he could all in.
It is painful, and now Isle's going to surprise Kryra here. He is put low. Castle does have the level 6 advantage. He is coming in, trying to look for a fight, goes across the Veil, just getting cooked up, though, in that Invis, and now Saint arrives. Magical Journey not going to do much. Flash away, but Castle's in trouble. Tries to go back with the Between Worlds, and just gets locked down and killed. Sent back to the base.
Woo!
Kryra getting chased out of his own jungle here as well. Dhokla overheating. Not going to be able to actually finish off Kryra, but is sent back, and it's a solo kill on the Vayne, and that is barrier flash used. Berserker gets the 1v1 kills. The wheels have fallen off, and now we're going to watch Call Me probably fall as well. Maybe he'll get one back. The tower doesn't have the damage. Call Me survives, and thank God for that, because this one is already looking completely cooked.
Game 1 was a warm-up. This is the chaos that Lion has been trying to create, inspired with the red buff steal as well after Dhokla had pushed Wukong back to base. Everyone taking risks and everyone getting outplays. Dhokla and Berserker both on their level 6 power spike, all into them right away. They are on point. Sejuani was just greedily interrupting a recall, it looks like. How many curtain calls does he land? So he gets 2 Qs off, lands the root, and then just opens up, and now it's about, can you dodge? No? Yeah, I mean, yes. and then no.
Ooh,
Any non-flash he got hit by.
That's brutal. Yeah, that was just pinpoint accuracy and really well-timed deadly flourish, because when Jatt is against the wall, you can't tumble out. Like, when you're between the tower and the wall, there's no way to actually dodge that. So had the angle really well done, and Jatt probably could have just barriered an earlier shot of the curtain call to keep his health high and tried to save flash for the 4th shot.
Decent chance.
But, of course, it does go bad, and now bot lane is a bit of a disaster here. Down 900 gold, and now Lion's going to get rooted up. Isles decides not to follow through, but Inspired is behind Call Me, and he's going to get the bad news. Call Me flashes, use the Emperor's Divide, does survive, but is incredibly low.
Yeah, gets the flash out, but also got the Sejuani ultimate. Saint looking to just keep the pressure on. Call Me's keeping his CS up pretty well and has actually absorbed a couple of dives without dying.
Saint does have flash, and he does have ultimate, and there's no tools for Call Me, though. So Call Me has to be really, really careful about how he plays this out and should back off at this point. Not a lot of vision for him either.
Yeah.
It's going to be pretty scary. You don't know if Inspired is going to be looking behind you. You know Inspired still has flash, and now this is brutal. Castle starting to get proxied here as Lion's going to move up towards this top side. Has the Tempered Fate, but not going to elect to spend it just yet.
Yeah, this is tough all around for DSG. Every lane is crying. Kryra couldn't gamble, wasn't willing to gamble on that Drake. He would have had the time to take it since Inspired was clearing out the grubs, but now Inspired, he's so fast to the Protoplasm Power Spike. A lot of times when you're playing non-Sundered Sky junglers, you fall behind early, and then you'll hit a Power Spike like this with Inspired having the Protoplasm Harness, and that'll like equalize you to the more expensive item. But he's just so far ahead, he's just hit the Power Spike so much faster, and now he's going to be able to go wherever he wants.
Yeah, I mean, it's a big advantage of the item. It's so cheap, right? And Wukong's going for Trinity Force, which is very expensive, so you get there a lot faster, and Inspired is happy to fight now. Kryra will be strong with the other Triforce, but that is a ways away, and it is going to be probably an uncontested dragon here for Lion as DSG just trying to hold on. I mean, mid and jungle aren't behind really, but bot lane and top lane is a bit of a canyon, and even from a deficit, Lion was team fighting better, so it is definitely very concerning to find DSG this far behind this early.
Yeah, Saint probably having a lot of fun on Yone as well, off of control mage duty. His Yone career record, 10-3. Pretty good, not amazing, but you're definitely going to take those when you're winning that high of a percentage of your games. We'll see what happens here in the bottom lane as Sejed and Isles are just continuing to keep them pushed in.
Kryra on the side, looking to see if there's an opportunity here. If Saint goes aggressive, they might try to look for this, and now he's going to clone forward, trying to look for him. There's the Emperor's Divide, knocks him back. The Fate is sealed. Call Me's incredibly low, and Saint is just going to take him down. Doesn't even need his jungler. Give him the thumbs up, Saint. Well played, as Lion now getting ahead in the mid lane.
I think 11-3 on Yone is in his future. What an outplay right there. You'd think Kryra thought he was being really cute by like, I'm just going to wait for you to snap back. But that just gave him more time to hit Call Me. He's never going to snap back if he doesn't want to. He snaps back, presses the R to buffer it right back into Call Me, and just perfectly plays that 1v2.
Yeah, very well played. I mean, Call Me was just posturing forward so confidently because he has his jungler there, but Saint just fights it out, takes him down. Sejed trying to get some gold down here on the bot side, but way behind, doesn't have the tier 2 boots, and a fully completed item is already there for Berserker. As Castle does have the push right now on Dhokla, trying to keep things as close as he can, but Lion definitely in full control and will just be continuing to push forward. Lions, though, jumping out of the brush, surprises Dhokla and forces a flash.
Yeah, Dhokla didn't want to have one-shot threat there. If they land the Bard stun, didn't have eyes on Wukong either. He could have easily been in that bush as far as Dhokla was concerned, so doesn't want to give over the first death of the game.
So Jed popping the final hour, looking for the 1v1, realizes, you know what, never mind, I can't win it, and is immediately going to have to back off. It was already getting low with that third and fourth shot ready. Berserker probably could have taken him out. A Saint going to look for the plate, won't quite be able to knock it down, but the minions might do the job for him. And he gets that gold, so Jed at least stays alive, but it is Berserker up 2,000 gold off of the rare AD carry solo kill in a 1v1.
Yeah, and Inspired getting the second straight red buff from Kryra. Kryra is going to realize likely that it was just stolen as he walked past with the way the camp cooldown is going to go.
Looking for Berserker here. Tries to go for the flash predict. Can't find a beautiful backstep there from Berserker. Has the fleet footwork pop. Flashing over is Jatt. Should be able to finish him off. The teleport's coming in. Isles does arrive. There's the condemn, but Saint is here to pick up the kill. Isles unfortunately does get it. A nice attempt at a play from DSG, and it does get them the 1-for-1. But Lions, unfortunately, is getting surrounded here and may get chased down. Inspired does have the ult, doesn't really want to use it, and will not have to, as it is going to be another kill going the way of LYON, and Saint is even going to be able to get the bot lane tower.
Yep, they killed Berserker, but it came at great cost. The bot lane turret goes over to Saint. Inspired picks up a kill on the back end. The CC chain from LYON is really so good whenever they get into a chase situation.
Riot in the area, but this is a 2v3. Call Me has to shift back over the wall as they wanted to try to push in and then realized they were outnumbered as Isles was in that brush also. So Inspired takes away another buff, just constantly playing in the enemy jungle. That is, multiple red buffs, now taking away the blue. He knows he is stronger.
So you can see right here, after Berserker had already essentially pushed Vayne out, he thought he was in a safe spot, not to mention where Isles was, getting deep wards in the jungle. So pretty surprised that there's two people here, and when he's in this situation, I think he plays it as best as he can. Dodges most of the spells, tries to move towards Isles to get the heal, isn't quite enough damage, but with how much DSG had to invest just to get that one kill, they're far too deep, and LYON run down for the kills.
Yep, and now Dhokla popping the equalizer, but Kryra is in the brush, and Castle and Kryra will be able to team up to knock one down. Saint goes in with the Fate is Sealed. It only finds the clone, looking for Kryra, trying to finish him off with the auto attacks. Doesn't quite have the damage, and does the tower shot on the other side? No. Both of them will be able to walk away to tell the tale after Dhokla falls, so DSG not giving up just yet. Inspired going to get shuffled back into that summon turret as a nice little tumble to the side keeps Jatt alive, but he is getting blasted by Berserker. Yeah. And the curtain call is still up and available, so he has to be careful.
Yeah, I think Jatt actually dies there if he doesn't tumble forward there to dodge, even with barrier, because the CC chain would come out from Nautilus and the fourth shot definitely would have landed. But before that, a nice play top lane by DSG, getting the kill back onto Dhokla. Just something positive to keep the game moving in the right direction. And the kill going on to Kryra is good as well, since Wukong can actually handle the Jhin decently well in late game teamfights.
Yep, definitely important to be getting those divers strong. Got to be able to threaten on the counter engage here. As Kryra, again, looking up towards top lane. Saint, if he goes aggressive, could be in a little bit of trouble. Has no ult or flash, and they are going to go in here. Pops the Fate Sealed, just trying to be able to actually buy a little bit of time, with that Soul Unbound. Inspired was in the area. They get the teleport. Good play from DSG. I mean, they don't get a kill, but they do get a teleport, and they get some time spent there by Inspired.
Yeah, they're in a really difficult spot in this game, though. Even though they've played a couple of sequences nicely, they're going to lose this Rift Herald. They're likely going to still have to reset because the Vayne has no pressure anywhere on the map, and it's fairly unlikely they're able to secure this Drake unless LYON really invest for a kill on top lane.
Yeah, it's going to be very tough. I mean, they're just starting to lose a lot of towers. They already lost that bot tier 1. Now they have the Herald. They're working down that mid tier 1, and Isles is behind Call Me. Dhokla trying to soften him up. Call Me is able to sidestep both those Electro Harpoons, but now you see the Herald coming in here. And we'll see how Call Me can try to play this. The teleport going to be coming in from Castle. Nice Emperor's Divide, scoops him back and does clear out the wave, but the tower is getting low. Isles has the aggro. Castle comes in between worlds, trying to knock down Isles. He's incredibly low. Flash forward, shut down there for Call Me. Now Kryra arrives. Can they get more? The answer looks like it is no, but again, another good play here from DSG, not rolling over. They are not going to give up this game without a fight.
Isles has a bounty, so Call Me a pretty big benefactor of that play. They're going to try to continue the invade, but...
Oh, so Jatt, I mean, he escaped from Saint before and then just kind of walks back blind into the jungle and dies.
This keeps happening. DSG makes the big play, and then immediately something good happens for LYON. That dive itself was a little strange to me. I feel like if they just let the Herald crash and Inspired is in on the kill, I think they probably just one-shot Call Me before the TP can arrive, but he spends so much time inside the Rift Herald, they don't have the lockdown to get the kill, and the play ends up going bad.
Yeah, maybe they thought they could slow play it and kill the tower first or something, but it definitely did not work out, and now Isles is going to get spotted here. Saint on the side in the 1v2 against Lions, and Call Me goes back in with the faded seal, and it looks like Call Me is going to be falling again. Saint does it once again in the 1v2, and surely he's going to fall. Does take a while, but is knocked down there by Kryra. Might be Isles falling here too. Kryra trying to stay ahead of him, trying to block the dredge line, can't quite do it, but in comes Castle from the side to help him, finish him off. It's another couple kills going the way of DSG.
And this is the chaos that LYON would like to be better at playing in. They see an opportunity to go for a kill, so Saint flies in, but the numbers just absolutely aren't there. Rumble is bot, Jhin is mid, Sejuani's solo killing the Drake, so there's no way there's a legitimate numbers advantage there for LYON. Turns out DSG just have more people towards the top side, so yes, they lose the objectives in the waves, but they get the kills at the end of this fight.
Yeah, and Saint just again, you know, being able to find the play here in the 1v2.
I can't complain about his mechanics on the Yone. He has been smurfing here. Lands basically everything, finishes him off, snaps back, and then makes it really hard to get the kill. Gets the Q as well as the shield before they eventually chase him down.
So Jed able to survive there, but this has just not been a fun game for him. Ever since the beginning of the game, that 2v2, they lost that pretty hard and then get solo killed in a 1v1 by Berserker. And that's kind of why you're picking the Vayne into the Jhin, is to be able to do that the other way, right? You're looking for those 1v1 outplays. They're going to find a dive on the top side. 3v1, no chance for Castle, didn't even get to move.
I think that's what they envisioned when they wanted to dive the Azir, was let's lock him down and then surely we kill him.
Yeah, they got the rare redo.
Yeah, no Rift Herald to mess it up this time.
Exactly, yep. Azir on the other side of the map, though, trying to get some gold back. Call Me will be able to at least take down a tier 1 tower. I don't think there's any objective bounties, though, so not going to be a massive cash-in. There is still that top lane tier 1, which has like a one little tickle of health left on it. There's any auto, any minion, anything is going to kill that, so DSG can get a little bit of that standing gold, but LYON, a couple good plays. Once again, kind of re-extend that gold lead, and it is now up to 4.5K once again.
Yeah, Saint is really becoming a problem in this game. You can see just creating a lot of pressure on his own, making it difficult for Kryra to even kill Krugs, pulling Lions up. That just lets everyone else on the map relax as long as Saint has it under control. And even with all of his aggression, only died once so far this game on the Yone.
You can see Inspired going for that full supportive style item. Has the Bandle Pipes, very good on Sejuani, helps you, even with the attack speed on Sejuani, helps you stack up your passive more quickly. There was some tech for a while, people were doing Bandle Pipe Sejuani top and just utilizing that buff to actually stack it really, really fast. But obviously you're playing with the Yone. The Yone uses that attack speed pretty well, so that's also going to be nice. And it's just another cheap, efficient item as LYON looking for a play here. Kryra will clone for the disengage, but Call Me kind of didn't get the memo that they were backing up, and he's just going to be hit by the Glacial Prison, knocked down in a hurry. As Berserker pops the curtain call and Kryra's got nowhere to go, he's going to die and the Baron just spawned. I think LYON are going to be heading right for it. Jed looking for that play onto Berserker. Doesn't get rooted up, but it's a beautiful hook resulting in yet another kill. DSG were all over the place in that one. It felt like they all had a different idea of how they wanted to play it out.
And LYON had one singular idea of how to play it out. Their team fighting has been superior this entire series. The timing could also not be better with the Baron spawning at 20 minutes. Even if Jhin is not that good at Baron, the Yone certainly is, and Saint is 2,500 gold ahead of Call Me after that last triple kill.
Yeah, not too bad, and they're going to be able to grab that Baron, reset with lots of time to be able to actually look for the next dragon, which would be soul point for them. LYON up now nearly 7,000 gold as their carries are just dominating, and I mean, Call Me just didn't run. I'm kind of confused. I mean, he had the shift available. Maybe he was thinking that there was no way to actually fully escape, so he had to fight.
That would be the only thing. But then, unfortunately, Kryra also isn't able to escape, and Jed then panics at the very bottom, but Berserker just walks towards his team, and they can collapse on the first target hooked.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of just felt like they were all on a very different page.
Very different pages.
Kryra and Jed and Lions want to run. Call Me's re-engaging. Then Kryra's like, oh crap, I better stay. But his mid laner's already dead. Then Jed's like, well, what if I go for a 1v1? It just didn't work out. Dhokla going to drop the equalizer here. Tempered Fate will find nothing, but at least it looks cool. And Saint going to be heading up towards that top side to reinforce. Isles is coming as well. Magical Journey to try to get them back to safety. We'll see if it does just that, as Saint looking forward with the Soul Unbound, but cannot find them.
Yeah, they are all spread out right now, though, so LYON could look to collapse.
Yeah, Cry in a lot of trouble, already low here. Castle goes between worlds, but he is CC'd up, barely surviving, gets the shutdown, though, on the other side. Curtain Call going to be popped. Can't quite find Castle, who's looking for the base. A Jatt starting to get the damage rolling here. Call Me shifting forward. They get another kill. DSG come to life here. Do get 2 kills. Unfortunately, cannot chase down for more, and there's no objective available to grab.
The Bard trickery comes in clutch in that fight. So the initial pick with the Bard ult missing made LYON extremely confident that they'd push them all back. But then, kind of with the snap of a finger, DSG ended up having 5 people there, and they could get the burst damage down onto Saint. So they collect that bounty. Calmy's trying to collect this turret. Inspired has other ideas.
Yeah, I think he might be getting collected as Dhokla just running in. Easy kill for him. It is an objective bounty and a tower, and they're taking the dragon on the other side. So if they get this dragon, it's honestly super worth it.
A couple bounties would be going their way, but Yone's coming in to stop it.
Yep, they are going to be TPing down, and Sejuani is just trying to play guard duty here, trying to keep Berserker out. They need to burst this down quick. Will they have the time to do it? Isles is in the pit. We'll see if Kryra can get it. He does secure that bounty, but the question is, can he get out with his life? The rest of DSG should survive. Kryra looks like he will not be so lucky. Saint waiting over the wall. Eventually he will fall. And that is a couple kills going their way, but honestly, stopping this soul stack, taking the objective bounty off the dragon and the tier 1 top, if they don't lose much more here, that's pretty good for DSG.
I completely agree. It's super worth it. Most situations in this game, they're still going to end up losing, but collecting 2 objective bounties almost always worth it.
Castle going between worlds. The Tempered Fate comes out and misses again. That has been a common sight so far this game. Castle, nice use of Rocket Belt to be able to dodge out on that Glacial Prison. Good hook there over on a Castle, and now the hard engage will land. Calmy trying to shift back to safety, but is anywhere safe. Sidestepping 1, sidestepping 2, sidestepping the dredge line. Still has to dodge the 4 shot, can't do it. Dhokla flashes in, it's gonna look to try to finish him off. Carver coming into peel. Calmy's in trouble, he does fall. Dhokla is likely to die on the other side. Jatt arrives, they do get 1 back, but LYON make the dive happen, take down the tier 2.
I do want to bring back that inspired quote from earlier on in the day where he's saying that the team needs to try and play with more chaos. I'd say game 1 didn't work in that way, and I wouldn't be surprised if they brought that up with both the draft and the way they're playing for this game, because even if they don't have a huge advantage, they're just going for it and trying to make outplays happen the whole game.
Ooh, LYON waiting around here as they come through that magical journey. And LYON finds 3 LYON members in the brush there, as this was that initial play. And Castle, with some fancy feet, doing a good job on the initial engage.
Able to sidestep, hop. It doesn't matter that he gets rooted with his ultimate, but then he just kind of sticks around, right? So they still have the Baron buff. They're still trying to defend this without their jungler. And you can't dodge every CC. Once the hook lands, everybody can just chain it on top of him. He gets wiped. And then LYON says, you know what? We don't just want the turret. We want to keep going. DSG actually dodges a bunch of skill shots. That's the majority of the curtain call. That's another dredge line they dodge. He flashes the proto belt just at the right time, but Dhokla finishes him off at the end.
Yep, going to be able to finish him off there. And I mean, Castle was just a little bit too close to that brush. He timed the weirding well. You know, he was trying to, I think, maybe bait it and disengage with the weirding, but it was just a little bit too close, and the CC chain was very clean with the Deadly Flourish as well as the ultimate coming through from Saint. And here's that quote you were talking about, Jatt.
Yeah, we're trying to play a bit more chaotic and see if we can find ourselves in the environment, which was talking about what happened with some of the teams at first stand. But when the chaos starts, it's good if we are choosing the best decisions possible in those moments. They're getting stage reps of that. Yep. You can see that happen a lot in scrims, but they're definitely flying in, and Saint is excelling in this environment right now.
I mean, it's really important, and when you think back to first stand, LYON had a lot of really good early games, and even against the LPL. As Kryra, taking a ton of damage here, will be forced back. But they weren't able to, you know, when the games got chaotic, necessarily make the right choice. And I think that's what he's trying to train. And it's easy when you're winning the game and you have a lot of time to think about it, and you're kind of, okay, yeah, we're going to do Dragon in 4 minutes. Get ready, guys. We'll reset it this time. We'll get Fish in here. But when things are fast, when they're chaotic, it is harder to make that decision correct every single time. So trying to focus on that in the early weeks here in spring, and we'll see if that does pay dividends later on in the split, and potentially if they make the MSI, maybe international.
And if DSG is going to win this game on the other side, it would actually have to be through Jatt. He's on 3 items on Vayne, so even though he's 2,300 gold behind Berserker, it's not manifesting in a huge amount of inventory difference right now. And you're going to give up a lot early when you pick Vayne, but now that he's got 5 points in Silver Bolts, 5 points in Tumble, as well as 3 items, he'll really hurt in teamfights if he's able to hit. So that's the one chance they'd have of winning, but if they're getting picked off like this, it's tough.
Yeah, there is a perfect engage onto him. Call Me either didn't have the shift or was too slow to use it, but just gets hit by the equalizer into the deadly flourish and taken out in a hurry. Nice play there from LYON as Dhokla and Berserker tag team to take down Call Me.
That was sweet. A lot of times when you're two-manning Baron, you just kind of play a little aggro mid lane, not really looking for a fight. They just get a kill while they're two-manning the Baron. That's crazy.
That is really nicely done, and Dhokla's going to be able to respond towards bot, and they are pushing mid here as well as top. Already have 2 lanes. They're not going to reset. They're just staying on the map. They have tempo. Call Me's dead, and he's their best wave clear. So LYON know with the Baron buff, they can do a lot here. Kryra was looking for a potential flank, but not going to go for it just yet. There's pings over there, but they are from DSG. As LYON do knock down that top lane tower. I don't think a flank could work that well, but it is just Isles by himself. Everyone else recalled, so Isles will get caught out and has to flash.
Berserker was sitting on 2,200 gold.
That's quite a bit.
If the team was like, no, we got a good time here, if I'm Berserker, I'm saying, you know, actually, it doesn't look that good. I think it's bad timing. I think I want to buy an item. Let's make sure we go back and collect Drake, because now he's got full 4 items and is ready to go.
As the Saint, full 4 items for both of those carries who are the entire gold lead pretty much, as LYON will grab an uncontested 3rd dragon here. Thankfully for DSG, they were able to sneak away that last one, so this isn't Soul, and DSG will be gifted a little bit more time to try to find a way back into this game, but it is of course going to be incredibly difficult without a big misstep from LYON or some incredible picks there from DSG, but they're going to drop the equalizer once again onto Call Me. In comes a deadly flourish, and it's just rinse and repeat once again. He is killed just like that, but they do get one back as Dhokla gets deleted. Did not expect the return damage coming out there from Lions and Castle as they burst down that Rumble.
Yeah, nice burst on the counter kill, but that's the Rumble combo. That's why you see it so frequently with the Deadly Flourish able to chain CC, but there's Bardolt.
Yep, going to be able to lock him down. Can they get the follow-up? No, they cannot. Berserker flashes away. Sejuani trying to clear this out. Castle going to go between worlds, as there is no flash available on Berserker. Do they have the damage to get him? It looks like no. Kryra is down, as is Castle. Sejuani goes in, but he is flashed on, CC'd, and dead. LYON will take the fight, will take the game, will take the series. In the time it took you to blink an eye, all of DSG are wiped from the map. DSG made some good plays, but this one was all LYON start to finish. Berserker with an incredible game. Saint with an incredible game. And LYON, slow and steady, will finish this one off, but not before grabbing a couple more kills and securing their clean 2-0 over DSG.
They let Berserker down at the end. They let Call Me kill him at the very end, but overall, LYON should be pretty happy with especially Game 2. Game 1 was very close against DSG, but Game 2, they played very aggressively. They won their lanes and they pushed their advantage quickly. And by the way,